He came to that which was his own, but his own didn't receive him. Delving into the text, he came to that which was his own, but his own didn't receive him. One of the interpretation of this text can be the family he was born didn't recognize him, and they just viewed him as a person who was different from the rest of them. In this situation, only people who love him with all their heart will have good relations with him, and the rest of them will be against him. Another interpretation of this can be that we all of humanity are his own people, and when we didn't receive him and we didn't even recognize him. He can also see the truth behind this reason, and the reason is this: we humans have since our time on this earth have decided to give ownership of this body to their brain, but instead of this, it should have been the soul which should be the real owner. So we humans need to see to it that we use less and less brain in order to make spiritual progress and strengthen our soul in the process. Now you will ask, how do we do that? So brain has 5 properties, namely desires, anger, greed, lust, pride. So from this you should try to lead a normal life with as little desires that you can have, and remember that things that are meant for you in your destiny will definitely come to you. So learn to be content and grateful. Next change to make is to try to have big heart and make your anger less and less. Learn to forgive people who did bad things to you. Now you ask, what is the benefit? Then the benefit is God is seeing everything when you forgive others and not demand anything from the other person. God will also repay you by forgiving one of your mistakes that you have done in your life. So think of it like instead of forgiving him, you are forgiving yourself. But sometimes people think that forgiving people is a sign of weakness. Now think of it like one person says something bad to somebody and it ends up becoming an argument. Person A said 5 things and person B also said 5 things, so now both of them have 5 karmas. Whereas in the condition in which the other person decides to have a big heart and forgives the other person without saying anything back to him, only karma formed will be by person A, and person B will be completely free of karma. In case of greed, just like all the other properties, it is somewhat like a fire, as anger can also be considered as a fire, because not only you are hot-headed, your ability to think is also zero. There is no reasoning with you in that state, and you may even end up doing something bad in order to quench this anger of yours. Now greed is also similar to this. Let's say a person has quite a lot of money and he used every method he could think of in order to make this money. In this process of making money, that person did bad things too. He gets the result that it is easier to make money like this. Money is more, hard work is less. But need to remember that God is seeing everything you do. You will have to repay all of it. Now you ask how there can be situations like, for your illegal activities you get caught, and not only do they take your money, they will take your freedom too. Or otherwise some family member or even you get some sort of a disease, and you love them more than you love your money, and in order to save them, every last penny you have on you will spend it. There can also a situation like you have money, so you provide every needs of your children and end up growing big in such an environment. The consequence of this will be that when you don't say no to your children, this money may end up making its way into bad habits like drinking and gambling, as this money, which they have been using, has not been earned by hard work, and so this money will be totally free and without any respect, and without this respect this person will end up becoming which not even respects his parents or even family members. He only cares about money. Now coming to lust, this property of brain is quite liked by all the people on the planet, and in these last 100 years it has grown too much. For example, there was no porn, no boyfriends and girlfriends. Now the thing you don't understand is that, or maybe you do understand, but still decide to ignore it, these sort of things will end up making you characterless. With enough relationships, you will also have enough heartbreaks and divorces, which will end up making your heart bitter and lonely. And some of you may end up having a heart made out of stone, which will not have any feelings, still very miserable. So instead of taking this path, see to it that avoid all these above-mentioned things, and once you have done your education and have started earning something, directly ask your parents to help you get married. Now this is the only solution. Above path is a miserable one, and marriage path can be both good and bad, as everything is on this earth. Now ego means that you have an identity, and we most humans also believe this to be true. Now this identity is that we humans believe that we are humans only. We don't believe in soul and God, and only if by some chance you can meet a person like Jesus Christ, a saint, who is God himself in human form, you will, under the influence of brain, still keep on asking for the evidence of God. In this sort of scenario, this ego will end up becoming a wall which will separate you from your beloved God and also keep you away from all its blessings.